Welcome to a new episode of Under the Sky. In this episode we are going to go out and do some nightscape photography. We are going to photograph the Milky Way.
When the sun starts to set and the sky turns dark, it's time to go out and photograph the Milky Way. During the day, we go out and scout location for our composition. When we have found our location, it's time to prepare. We mount our camera to our tripod and await the darkness. The location is a football field not far from where I live.
I live in Sweden, and the best time of year to photograph the Milky Way is mostly between August and December.
When it's finally gotten dark, it's time to take our pictures. My camera is now facing southwest. My settings are aperture f1.4, ISO 1600, a shutter speed of 30 seconds. I set my focus by using live view. I tried to make my light sources as small as possible. When all my settings is set, it's time to take the picture. My shutter speed was set to 30 seconds. And here you see the result.
I decided that I wanted to make a picture with a light painted foreground and where the Milky Way was used as a backdrop. This meant that I have to take several images.
I used a flashlight on my phone to paint the foreground. I also used the backlights of my car.
After I've taken all the images, I take them into Photoshop and combine them into one.
Okay, so now we're in Adobe Bridge. I will use Adobe Bridge, Camera Raw and Photoshop in order to put these images together. I will select, I believe, 9 images. This is my background image. These are the foreground images that I will, what should I say, paint in to get a foreground, a lightened foreground.
I do color grading in Camera Raw. Unfortunately, when I was recording this, my recording software wouldn't show Camera Raw. So anyway, I did my color grading in Camera Raw. Thereafter I opened Photoshop.
Okay, so now I've opened all my images in Photoshop. I will select my background layer, or the image that will be the background layer. So this is the image in which I will paste the other images onto, and we will get a visible foreground and much more a foreground with much more clarity and much more sharpness than it is now. So let's start. I will start by pasting in the other images onto this one. So I will start by pressing Ctrl A and thereafter Ctrl C. Then I'll go back to the first image and press Ctrl V. That's the first one. That's the other one. And I will repeat this process until I've copied and pasted all the foreground images into my background image. Okay, so now I have pasted in all my images into one. Now I just want one background, and that is the background of this image right here. That is the proper image of the Milky Way. I will now remove the sky of the 8 foreground images. I will do that by using the brush tool. Okay, so now we will select my 8 foreground images. And now I will press lighting. Well, as you can see, it's almost there, my final result. I will remove this and that, all these light streaks of light spots. These are from my flashlight when I was painting my foreground, if you will. So anyway, we're gonna start by removing the sky on my 8 foreground layers. Now I will add a layer mask, and now I will, there you have my pencil. I will a fairly big size of my brush. So I accidentally cut the top of the tree, but that is quite easily to restore. It's quite easy to restore. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with that. So now we're gonna copy this layer mask onto the other foreground layers. I do that by holding Alt and drag the layer mask onto the next. And I repeat the process onto the all 8 foreground layers. Okay, so now we're gonna turn the other layers on. So here is what it looks like. So I can turn that one off. That one as well. I'm gonna keep that one, but I'm gonna remove that and that. These two light spots I'm gonna remove. And I will select the layer mask and I will use my brush. So let's see if it looks fine from here, but let's go a bit closer. We're gonna soften our brush so it doesn't get that edgy. You will get quite straight and quite hard lines, so where you have been. So I'm gonna change. It looks quite good there. Now we're gonna go to our layer 8. I think we're gonna remove that. I'm gonna remove that as well on layer 7, I believe it is. So that's about it. That's how we do it. We have a final image here. It turned out pretty well. Normally you can save it as a usual JPEG. And there you have it. Our final image.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. That's all I had for now. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thank you.